Hi, I'm Mark, this is Mark's Tech Vlogs on YouTube, and today I'm going to bring you guys a review of the Chargeasap Connect Pro. Now this is a high quality cable with magnetic tips which allow you to charge lots of different things and just simply connect it with a magnet. It also has a built-in screen to show you the wattage. Now these cables are currently on Kickstarter, but that campaign is actually ending today. That means if you're watching this video other than the day it was posted, you're going to need to wait to pick one up until it appears on Amazon or Chargeasap's website. There's not an official release date for this yet, but also check the Kickstarter link anyway just in case they do extend it. I also want to mention at the start of this video that Chargeasap reached out to me and offered to send me one to review. Now, as with anyone who reaches out, I said yes, but I'm going to make an honest review. And that's why it is coming so near the end of that Kickstarter campaign, because I wanted to have plenty of time to actually put it through its paces. And let's kick off by talking about price, because according to the Kickstarter, when this officially launches, it's going to have an RRP of $60. Now this is quite a lot for a cable, but it does pack quite a lot in, as I'll go into throughout this review. At the moment on Kickstarter, however, you can pick them up for as little as $23, which is a really good price. I'm also speculating, and I reckon this means there are going to be regular offers when it does launch. In the box, you get the cable itself, and then you get 3 tips. You get a micro-USB, a USB-C, and a Lightning tip. The other end of this cable just has a USB-C on it. You can purchase extra tips as part of a campaign, and so I expect you'll be able to purchase extra tips moving forward as well. Now it's going to come in a variety of colours. Currently you can get gunmetal or black on Kickstarter, and the version you're seeing in this video is the gunmetal version. The cable itself is a braided cable and quite thick and does feel incredibly high quality. It's also designed to be tangle free, which is fantastic. One thing you do notice is that the ends and joints where it connects to the screen do feel really well made and sturdy, and I think this cable is going to hold up really well. You'll also get a rubber cord wrap in the box for when you want to coil it up. So let's get onto the specs, because this is what makes this cable a really useful cable to have. So firstly, this cable supports both 100 watt USB-C PD charging, but also 27 watt Apple fast charging. This is great for allowing fast charge and full charging of a load of devices. This includes things like MacBook Pros. Now, I haven't been able to test out 100 watt charging because I don't have any devices by Apple that match that, but I have been able to use it on my MacBook Air, and it does indeed charge it, and pretty fast. You can also check the wattage on that little screen. Those 3 adapters that come with it means that you can keep them in 3 different devices ready just to attach the cable when you want to charge. As I said, this cable also has an LCD screen which lights up. This tells you in real time the wattage, but also if PD is being used. Now the end of the plug that goes into your device also has a little light on both sides, so you know that it's charging. In terms of supporting charge levels for other devices, it can charge up to 12 watts using micro USB, and then also 27 watts for Lightning. And then, as I said, up to 100 watts for USB-C. Now that magnetic connection uses N52 grade neodymium magnets, which are known as the world's strongest commercial available magnets. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. This means it can support weights of up to 1.1 kilograms. But the best thing is, because it's a magnet, if you trip over your cable, your device isn't going to come crashing onto the floor, it's just going to disconnect. And this is one of the things I've missed the most about having a MacBook Air compared to some of the older Mac models that Apple made when they did have MagSafe. And of course Apple have now bought MagSafe back. It can also support USB 2 data transfer, and this goes up to 480 MPS between devices. Finally, according to their Kickstarter, it comes with a ridiculous 15-year warranty. And then it's also worth noting, as I already said, that you can buy extra tips through Kickstarter. So let's get on to using it, and I've been trying to use this on as many devices as possible to really put it through its paces. And of course, it's a cable, so using it is pretty simple, although those magnetic tips do make it slightly different to use. But at risk of teaching you to suck eggs, basically you stick the USB-C end in your charging brick or your kind of USB port on the wall, and then the other end just magnetically clips onto the device you've added the tip into. Now it connects onto those really quickly thanks to those super strong magnets. It's also worth noting that it clips on either way up, which is great, especially for things like micro USB ports where they have to go one way or the other. Being able to clip this cable on either way is fantastic. Once it's connected, it charges well, and that connection is pretty strong. However, I have found that you have to get the right angle with your laptop sometimes. So if you've got your laptop kind of trading at an angle and the cable coming up over the desk, it can pull off slightly. That's just something to note. And then in terms of charge speed, according to that screen, it does exactly what it should. And that means my MacBook Air charges at the level it should, and my iPhone, and so on and so forth. And those little tips are really designed to be left in the device that you're going to be charging regularly with this cable, rather than taking them out every time. And this also has the advantage of blocking dust from getting into things like phone ports. In kind of playing around with this cable and using it, it feels like it is a really high quality cable, and I can quite believe that it's going to last for that 15-year warranty. And I think that's especially important given the price range of this cable. You're going to want to know this is going to last a long time. In using this, however, I have found a couple of downsides which might be worth noting. Firstly, I think that display is probably on the wrong end of the cable. So that display is towards the end where you will plug it into a charging brick. That means if your charger is under your desk, you can't easily see that cable without getting on your hands and knees. That being said, however, if it was on the other end of the cable, so the end by your devices charging, I think I'd probably be complaining that it can just drag it off the end of the desk. So whilst the position of that screen is a slight downside, I do think Chargeasap have probably made the right decision in where they've put it. But it is just something I've noticed and something to keep in mind. And then secondly, the size of the attachments means that removing them is a little bit tricky because they're so small it's very difficult to get a grip on them. I suspect if you've got longer fingernails it's easier, but I've just been using a little pair of pliers if I have needed to remove them. And again, I'm not sure this is an issue because I think most of the time you'll buy the cable, maybe some extra tips, and just leave the tips in the devices you want to charge. Of course, I've been trying to charge it and test it with lots of different things, so I have been removing them. But really, that's it in terms of downsides, and this cable is great. So let's get towards the end of this review and say, well, what's the verdict on this Connect Pro from Chargeasap? And I am a big fan of magnetic cables. I think back when Apple first did it with the MacBooks, it was one of the most innovative things that Apple did, and it certainly saved my MacBook on a few occasions. And it's something that I've missed since changing to a USB-C MacBook Air. On top of that, I think magnetic cables make it really easy to charge devices as well, because you just take the magnetic end of the cable and wave it near the connector and it connects. And the Connect Pro from Chargeasap does everything you want from a cable really well, and everything you want from a magnetic cable really well. And its ability to charge everything from your phone right up to a 100-watt MacBook Pro is really impressive. And that's one of the things that sets it apart, alongside being a super durable, well-made cable. That little screen is nice to have as well for checking on the status, but probably not something you're going to use very often. And I guess really the cable comes down to the question of, well, is it worth the price point? And I think with prices on Kickstarter, it's a bit of a no-brainer because it's actually really good value, especially if you bundle more than one of these cables together as a pack. When it comes to the $60 price point we're going to see on launch, according to Kickstarter, I'm not sure that's the amount of money I'd spend on a cable. That being said, with a 15-year warranty and having used these cables, I could be tempted. If you guys have got any questions about this cable, do stick them below and I'll answer those for you. I'll also update the description when it officially gets released with some links to Amazon and the official Chargeasap website. For now, there is just a link down there for the Kickstarter. Any of the links below will be affiliate links, so if you use those links, I will get a very small cut of what you spend, and that just helps me keep this channel going. And so thank you if you use that. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like because that really does help me out. Subscribe to my channel to see new videos when they come out, and I'll see you guys again soon.